I am the Supreme Patriarch.
Elspeth von Draken, the Dark Lady of Nuln, is a prominent member of the Amethyst Order. Her lineage is that of a magical dynasty, and despite her capacity for prominence, she has decided to stay out of the internal affairs of her colleges. She's a reclusive sort who prefers to stay within her tower in Nuln and another one in the Grey Mountains. Despite her secrecy, her loyalty is to the Empire, and has a close relationship with the Church of Mor and the ruling Council of Nuln. As the Supreme Patriarch of the Imperial Colleges of Magic, Gelt is understandably wary of such a potent wildcard. His agents keep track of her whenever possible. There are those who fear that one day a conflict may spark between them, an outcome that would ruin the lives of anyone close by. In this case, Gelt has decided that his suspicions were correct, and after Nuln's betrayal, Gelt has taken control of the province, giving the title of Elector Count to Jean Fierenberg's child, who goes by the same name. Jean Fierenberg was a legendary general who killed many enemies of the Empire and unfortunately, due to exposure to corruption, was executed. He gave his life willingly to set a standard for every Imperial after him. Now we're to meet Marcus Orcsbane. Marcus was formerly a militia leader of the Steingard Boys, the only form of proper self-defense the town had due to Nuln's neglect of their distant subjects. Conscripted for a quick defense of Fort Sol, he made a name for himself, personally killing orcs with his blade until it broke and then using one of their severed arms to beat another one to death. He earned the moniker Orcsbane because of that. Whether fortunately or unfortunately for him, news of this reached Gelt and he was conscripted again. Something that Marcus is proud of, especially because Gelt's policies have helped Steingard prosper. For most people in the Empire, the story of intelligent ratmen living right under their feet is just a myth, good for scaring children. Even if there is clear evidence of their doings, they are seen as just another form of beastmen or random chaos mutations. Only a few know the full truth about the Skaven under Empire, and the threat it is. Now with more sightings of ratmen happening and concerns about an invasion from the underground, should we tell people the truth? Acknowledging their existence could lead to fear, and a loss of public trust. Denying their existence could lower the morale of our troops when they have to face this enemy. You know what? I don't know what you're talking about. There are no Skaven. What's over here now? Elector declares independence. Now, we're not going to let you do that right now, Sterling. I could go conquer you, sure, but I'm fighting Marienburg. We shall rally political support, which means I need more prestige if I want to survive. Kislev and the Empire share a common history. For hundreds of years, in the Great War against Chaos, we fought side by side against the Chaos hordes. Now with Norscan tribes threatening their borders and rumors of Chaos forces gathering in the east and north, Kislev is again in need of our help. I think not. They have only one province left, and over here we have some imperial policies, elixirs and potions. Okay, my lord, the State Council has made some proposals on how to spend the tax money and further develop our nation. It is now yours to decide. In which direction will you go? Choose wisely. I could lose money or gain more campaign movement. I could gain a lot for that. Building an empire, cheaper buildings, and they could be built faster. Elixirs and potions, more weapon strength, less of a vigor loss, and less attrition from issues. We shall build an empire for now. There we are. Now, Jean, come over here to Nuln. You can replenish, and I need to think about how I'm going to build your army. You've got artillery, but I think I want my distances to be dictated around the same range. So the cannon and mortar would work well together. The Hellstone rocket battery right now is not really working out very well. I'd rather give him a much better rocket battery anyway. But that would have to come later on. We have a lot to really pick from. I just need time to pick it up. Alright, let's have a look down here. Gelt will be busy doing quest battles for a while yet. We have some more things to do in order for him to get better equipment. Like right over here, a Staff of Volans. And over here, a Cloak of Molten Metal. I think for now, we'll go kill some orc or something. Let's go do that. I want that magical artifact. So we're going to be fighting Mugga Rotgut. Let's go do that now.
We search for Gromril ore. These greenskins have it. Slaughter them and find it for me. And if the dwarfs should think we carry out vengeance for their kin, then let them. I'd rather make allies of the bearded ones than enemies. They hold grudges, and I have not the time or inclination for another enemy. There are greater, more pressing fates at work. Now, bring me the heads of the orcs, for I will have their skulls turned to gold, their eyes pierced with hot lead. They will truly know searing doom.
It is now time for Gelt to beat back an Orc Wa. They have many units over here that are moving down the Gully. They're led by an Orc Shaman and one Orc War Boss. We're looking at a Goblin and Orc Archers too. On the right flank, traveling up this hill, we've got Orc Boar Boys. Steingard's Pride is moving up, Gelt is too. Our Deliverance tank is moving as well. Let's have a look at what's going to happen here before we go back to our own lines. Look at that, a spell from an Orc Shaman hitting Gelt, dealing some damage to him. Gelt has come down to take down some Orc Boar Boys, and Steingard's Pride is trying to move down as we're being flanked by some enemy units. Our Deliverance will go after that Arachnarok Spider. It's quite large, which means we can hit it with a cannonball. Over here is where we have our spears on the front lines, we have our mortars in the center, we have our crossbows and archers behind them. Marcus Orcsbane will be leading the front line. On the left flank, we've got spears and halberds. On the right flank, we've got our halberds and our greatswords too. They'll be countering any flanking foes. Now it's time for our steam tank to go after that Arachnarok. He got a shot off, but it looks like it bounced right off. But it still dealt quite a bit of damage. That spider had a lot more health before, so it looks like our tank can actually win that battle. Gelt is now moving down over here to go after that Orc Shaman. If he's able to get rid of that Orc Shaman early on, then we'll all have a much easier time. Let's come back over here real quick. We can see that we have many Spider Riders moving down onto our left flank. Steingard's Pride was able to get away, and we're keeping them all busy. While that's going on, we have another group of Spider Riders coming out on the right flank, but our greatswords and halberds will take care of that. Now, Marcus is moving in to go after that Orc War Boss. We'll have to use whatever we can in order to win that. Deliverance has beaten that Arachnarok Spider in a duel. It's now leaving the map. We just need to make sure it leaves the map. Steingard's Pride will eventually come over here to flank those Spider Riders to get more kills. Over here is where we're still fighting those other Spider Riders on the right. And over in the middle is where we can see a lot of enemies coming towards us. Gelt is busy back there going after that Orc Shaman, trying to buff up our own units and to weaken what they have. Another, I believe it's a Gaze of Mork if I remember correctly. I haven't played the Orcs in a very long time, but that hit Gelt once more. You can see the mortars hitting a bunch of their ranged units. That Orc War Boss is taking way too much damage. A Transmutation of Lead has debuffed the front line of the Orc army, and Gelt is moving back over here now, using his Searing Dooms and other spells too. Over here is where we have more enemies coming after Steingard's Pride. We have spears who are moving in. Over here on the right flank, we're beating those other Spider Riders, and Gelt is just getting ready to attack some other enemy. That Orc War Boss is not yet done, and Gelt was hit by another spell from that Orc Shaman. Here comes some chariots too. Our archers are focusing on what they can, and it looks like so far they are indeed holding up. Here's a Searing Doom, killing some more Orc units. They're not going to deny Gelt today. Now Gelt is going after that Orc War Boss. If we can get rid of the Orc War Boss, then we don't need to worry anymore. At least about them staying in the fight for too long. It's time for him to get out of here. He's trying. He's trying very hard. But Gelt is going to win. That's one Orc War Boss taken down. Over here is where we have halberds who are still fighting some Spider Riders. We have other units who are moving in. We do have some Boar Boys behind us and more Spider Riders behind us as well. Over on the front lines, you can see how many units they have. They're moving in. We're also trying to, again, focus on many of their archers. On the right flank, those Spider Riders are still there, but they're going to break very soon, so it looks like we don't really need to worry too much. Our Golden Guard will move back over here and take out these Boar Boys, but it does look like we've beaten a lot of their units. Most of them are now beginning to run. There's another Searing Doom from Gelt, destroying more of these Orc units who, again, are broken. We just need to make sure they stay broken so that we can win the fight. Constant volleys. Marcus got 25 kills. We lost one of our mortars due to a misfiring. And over here is where you can see our units now converging on one group of these Boar Boys. They've been flanked and surrounded. Now they're fleeing. That Transmutation of Lead kept them weak. it looks like it's all over now. Gelt's just helping to chase after those who remain. Our Steingard's Pride is finally coming back to get some more kills, to kill whatever they can. These guys are quite impressive. They know what to do. They know how to kill. Much like that. You can see the volleys just taking them down. As they leave, we'll just keep on shooting. And over here is where we have our tank now chasing after that Orc Shaman. Our Deliverance has done a great job. 13 kills. The Orc Shaman only has 3 kills. Could have had many more. Gelt has 70 kills total. But the battle is now over. We've done it. Now that that battle is over, we're going to take a few more lives. That's what we do. I know, I was tempted by that gold for a brief moment, but we gained more prestige and gold. Now we need to move Gelt over to Altdorf. Thankfully, he's going to be on his way there anyway. The dwarf lore reveals synergies between alchemy and the manufacture of black powder. With raw materials and key knowledge in place, Gelt sends word to head to Altdorf to prepare his laboratories whilst he rides for the capital. Alright, that we can do. Now we have so much more. The Golden Hold. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold on to that. I hope I can, but I'm not sure if I can. For its soul, you're doing fine. I will upgrade you later. Clockwork Bombs. Yeah, those are strong. Those can deal a lot of damage. Hornhold, you want an upgrade to your basic walls. Anything I get right now largely needs to be based around public order and money. We're here to make all of that. And Jean, you have swordsmen. They're pretty darn good. You've got your halberds, your spearmen, but you need other units too. We're going to have to work on that, which means that we need a proper barracks. Then we can get some proper units. Later, in 3 turns, we can build up over here at Dortenbach and get an armory, which will unlock even more units for him to utilize. And for now, Gelt, you need to heal up just a little bit. I mean, we could bring you up to Wissenberg, that's true. Yeah, come over here. Marienburg will probably be on their way eventually. And Sylvania is a top tier power. Now when I zoom out, you can really see how close they are to us. They own the moot. The poor halflings. They're in trouble. We'll have to help them out. After I beat Marienburg, provided we have no new foes, we'll go after Sylvania. That to me is a good idea. Now it's time for Gelt to move on. He's moving to Altdorf. Later he'll be moving to Marienburg. Fortunately, he has a quest where he has got a duty to handle over in Altdorf. Here's another Marienburg army. My god, they have many soldiers, and they're being led by Edvard van der Krau. It seems that the process of transmutation is dangerously unpredictable. Gelt's experiments triggered an explosion which he barely survived. He's a veteran of such occurrences, however, his first-hand experiences of the forces involved gives him an insight into an artifact that may reduce the risk. Okay, so now we just need to move someone to Weismund. Maybe our captain will go there later. But for now, we've got another enemy to fight. Look at that army. Each group of halberds, 120 men. That is a lot. For you, Elector Count Fierenberg II, you'll be moving back into Nuln. Thankfully, we're largely okay. Over here in Dortenbach, which is finally tier 3, as much as I want to get anything else, I need to, for now, get walls. If I don't, we're going to be in trouble. Every location I own needs walls. For the Golden Hold, they're finally net neutral. They're neither growing in happiness nor decreasing. The Hornhold is fine. Many of our areas here are fine. The Grey Mountains are going to be okay. Solland, you need to make me more money. That much I know. Wissenberg needs to be defended. I wonder if Edvard van der Krau will come after our leader, Gelt. Once we win, once we beat him back, we can go back to heal up again. Eventually, Fierenberg will have a new army. He needs a bit more time, but he will eventually have a new army. Once he's got a new army, then we can go out and fight again. But first I need to upgrade that into an armory, which means I need more money. I suppose I could, forego building that guild, save up my gold so that I can get my armory. That way we're able to unlock new units for him to utilize. That's a decent idea because we do need more, recruitment for him. But there's only so much I could do right now because I've got a finite amount of funds. Now in Steingard, I can get rid of the barracks. We no longer need that over here because I've got my recruitment area up north. Let's find out if Edvard will come find us or not. It's going to be quite a difficult battle and a quick one too, so I want to go over what's going to happen here. All of our units are currently settled in the woods. We want to avoid being hit by their ranged units and their many knights too. We've got all of our archers and crossbows hidden behind our spearmen and halberds. I've got spears and halberds on my right and left flanks. We have our swordsmen over here in the rear. We're looking at our deliverance right by Captain Marcus Orcsbane, and Gelt will be flying out attempting to get rid of their artillery. If he's able to do that, then we can make sure that we're not being hit by very deadly attacks. For what they have many outriders, pistoliers. We're looking at artillery, knights, and regiments of men. So a regiment has many more soldiers than a standard group. If I have 120, these halberds over here have 200 men in one group. They're quite powerful. They do cost more, but again, they just outnumber me heavily. If we look at our numbers right now, I'm at 1,600. They're at over 2,000, including all of their many knights. They do have a group of demigryph knights back over here too. And let's begin. Our job is to try to get rid of their artillery early on. Gelt is going to work on that right away, because if we can do that, we won't need to worry about them just taking out my tank or anything else too. You can see these mortar shells are already beating down on that mortar crew. Now it's time for Gelt to use a Searing Doom right on top of what's left. It's a great way to get rid of your enemies. Much like that. Much like that. And again, it's surprisingly a very quick battle for all the numbers that are here. Gelt's going to be flying around, avoiding enemy handgunner fire. Thankfully, there are trees close by, and they're not trying to focus on him. Here's a Hailstorm Rocket Battery crew close by. We currently have our mortars attacking. Steingard's Pride will be moving on to the left flank. So we're using terrain to our advantage. Our Deliverance is currently attacking too, close by, and we have our ranged units attempting to take out any knights, or at least to weaken them before they manage to charge right in. Edvard van der Krau is on his way. We've got some units moving in. They did not manage to charge into my mortar crews, which is quite good, so we have some more infantrymen who are about to cover them. If you haven't seen Edvard van der Krau, he's a very frightening man. He's got 2 pistols, and he deals a lot of damage. Very spooky. So Gelt is flying back now. Those crews are looking pretty rough, but they're not done for just yet. Gelt is moving in. Their knights are already clashing with my right flank. Over here on the left flank, we have Steingard's Pride getting ready to kill some soldiers who are trying to charge in at them, or they were momentarily. Now they're being butchered by that fusillade. My god, a lot died. There's a Searing Doom hitting a few of their ranged units. They've already clashed with many of my own infantrymen, and their outriders are right behind. If they manage to flank us and get clear shots, they will deal a lot of damage, much like my own outriders do. Over here on the right flank, we can see that right now we're trying to get rid of these Imperial Knights, of which they have many. If we can do that, we'll be in a better position, but so far, they're going to be staying here, charging in repeatedly. We've got some range attacks also trying to hit them. Another Searing Doom and Golden Hounds of Gehenna doubling up and at least taking down some of their ranged units that are still around. You can see that they have a Hailstorm Rocket Battery that's still hitting us, so that needs to go away. Edvard van der Krau is still very much alive, and our own outriders are being hit by some enemy outriders right over here. They're also exchanging fire. We're still fighting their frontline troops. Some of them are beginning to break now, as we do have a steam tank here and many mortar shells hitting them. And Gelt is still moving around, as again, we need to get rid of this crew that is currently unleashing some serious pain on our lines. That's where they're at right now. There's a Searing Doom, again, clashing with those crossbows. We're doing all that we can to eliminate them. Let's go watch this fight over here on the right flank, where our spears are pretty much getting butchered. They've got a few kills, but look at that. They got a nice clean charge right into our flank. We're fighting large groups of men. We've got another group of Golden Hounds of Gehenna hitting them right now. They're just standing still. And our Deliverance is heading after Edvard van der Krau, who is so far dealing a lot of damage to my tank, despite the fact that he's fighting a tank. He seems to be okay. Back here is where Gelt has finally gone after that crew for the Hailstorm Rocket Battery, finally butchering them and getting rid of them. So we've gotten rid of a few of their elements. And over here is where they have 3 groups of knights, still taking out our second company of Solland's Braves. a Spear Infantry group. On the left flank, we still have Steingard's Pride, who has won over 100 kills now. Imperial Knights are now fleeing. We have the Golden Guard, who have gone after some swordsmen. They have only 19 left. If we look elsewhere, it's now time to continue going after Edvard, who's beating our steam tank. I don't know if he had help or not. We have some handgunners moving in. Their infantry is still fighting, and Gelt is now moving back to come help out elsewhere. We're just trying to get rid of what we can. And so that's what it is right now. And all the while, Gelt is just using spells to decrease their melee attack and weapon damage, putting them at how much? Only 21 melee attack for that swordsman regiment. Our mortars are still working overtime. We still have some outriders to take care of. They have 47 kills. My own have 124, so we're getting a pretty decent amount of kills. They're quite accurate and quite talented at what they do. Over here, we have some archers who are attempting to weaken these Demigryph Knights who have over 100 kills. These few knights here have been punctured by countless arrows, and yet they still fight, and yet they're going to kill more of my men. Already over 100 kills. Now they're at 122 kills and rising by the second. If we look elsewhere, and I have to use what I'm looking at right now, or you won't be able to see due to the trees, we're finally beginning to break them. We have broken them, albeit barely. My God, we lost so many men. They nearly broke right through us. If we didn't use tactics, if we didn't carefully use Gelt spells, it would have been all over. But we won the battle. Edvard Vanderkrouw has lost a battle. Now it's time for our outriders to chase down many of them. I always use them after a battle. They're my pride. A close victory. Yeah, tell me about it. My poor infantry were getting wrecked the entire time. If we didn't fight the way that we did, we would have lost that battle. Thankfully, we won. Look at that. Steingard's Pride again. 268 kills. Our mortars worked overtime. Edvard nearly took on a tank on his own. Gelt had to come save our tank. Now it's time to replenish what we can. Get out of here, man. I need you to leave. Look at Edvard. He's currently encamping. I might have to follow afterwards and destroy more of his army.
Welcome to my pride.
What do you need? You want a military alliance? Well, I can't have that. That wouldn't work out at all. You're just gonna have to go for now. Okay, let's have a look at what we need to do now. Confident Defender, +2 to leadership when defending for Gelt, and a larger leadership or size. We have defeated Edvard Vanderkrouw, giving us a new trait. Grave for the Greedy. It's better to swim in the sea below than to swing in the air and feed the crow. We get a new passive ability. Drunken when fighting at sea. Oh, lovely. We'll have to look at what that does in a little while. But for now, or if we ever fight at sea for that matter, we need to give our good friend here, Gelt, a new ability. He's got Arcane Conduit. I've given him so much. I just need a little bit more for him. Hold the line would be quite handy, but he's been flying around casting spells constantly. We just need to buff up what we have. So I suppose we can finally put our next 2 points into Final Transmutation. The wizard unleashes a hail of magical energy, transmuting his foes into unliving golden statues. Alright. There we are. That should work out. Now, I wonder, can we beat you? Those Demigryph Knights, man, destroyed my right flank. They completely obliterated my units. They killed over 100. Elector count. I know what I want to give you. It's time for you to get a proper great cannon. 553 damage. It'll do a lot more damage overall due to the magical ammunition that it has. So let's go over here and give that to him. Or I could give him 2 groups of cannons. That's a lot of cannon. A lot more than I wanted to ever use, but I suppose we could keep it. It's not a bad idea. Now we just need to pick up some handgunners later and we'll be good. We'll just need a few more handgunners. But before we do that, let's have a look at our rights real quick. Imperial Faith, I do not have that yet. I need a Wizard Hero, and I need an Engineer's Workshop for my Imperial Gunpowder. I don't want a dilemma right now. No, thank you. Okay, so we have everything that we need outside of a tier 3 building. I'm thinking right now that I should probably get my toll gates. That's more income and more movement and more growth. I do want that area to rank up. Grey Mountains are doing fine. Fort Sol, I'm not going to upgrade you yet. Doternbach, We do need our blasted armory, so I'm going to take that. It's about time. With my extra gold, I'm going to build up a Tailor's Guild. 500 gold is a lot of gold. Now, Gelt, it's time to come over here. We need to get rid of Edvard. My god. His power is still overwhelming compared to mine. We'll need to fight him out traditionally. Many of my units are weakened again. He's got regiments of men, so he actually has a pretty decent, army. My god, 834 missile damage? No wonder you were hitting like a truck. Let's have, what else do you have, man? Hard to kill? Yeah, tell me about it. You've got over here Manon's Luck. Okay, it's a buff. Plus 27 to melee defense. And of course, 22% ward save or damage resistance. Dirty fighting. And the Cursed Skull. A debuff. Alright. Minus 26 to melee attack. Minus 8 to leadership. One day we'll play as Edvard. That should be interesting. But for now, let's kill Edvard. Edvard van de Krauw is not yet done. The man doesn't give up. My formation is over here waiting for them. We just need to go in and try to weaken them. Gelt is flying in, once again being daring. They do have Demigryph Knights and those can deal a lot of damage. You can see how much damage they're now dealing to Gelt as he tries to fly right by them. Casting a few spells just to weaken them. We're trying to, of course, watch out for those blasted, dirty Demigryph Knights. He's finally using a final transmutation on Edvard van de Krauw. You can see his health bar beginning to reduce. The man knows how to regenerate, though. He's at less than 200 health, but he's already regenerating. And quickly. And while that's going on, we're attempting to hit these blasted Demigryph Knights. They, again, are an abomination. They are anathema to my many-range soldiers. And they've got to go. And so we try to focus every single attack on them. They're still charging in right now because they're mad and crazy. You can see how many are just heading right towards us. Even mortar shells hitting them, and they're unfazed by it, and they still manage to get off a charge. 5 kills, 6 kills, and counting. They're dropping in health, but they still manage to weaken a lot of my units. It looks like we are finally going to get that blasted Edvard van de Krauw. He's at 300 health, and it's time for another final transmutation, finally wounding Edvard van de Krauw. It took 2 final transmutations to take him down, and he was already very weak, but we did it, so we don't have to worry about fighting him anymore. Now it's time to use what spells we have left. These traitors are going to die. They succeeded from the Empire, yet that will not last for too long. Our great Marienburg Gelt War shall begin. The Golden War is what we'll call it. Here they come. Here comes a few more shells, too. A few less men are going home. Yeah, get out of here. Tail between your legs. But we're not done yet. I feel like Steingard's pride has got to tell them a few things. You know? It just feels about right. They've got some range units who are still... I don't know why. They're being spiteful. You're being way too spiteful, by the way. So we'll get rid of them. Every single one of them. You've tried too hard. Tactically, you know what's happening. They just have a bunch of units over here. We've counted them. They managed to hurt a few of our units, but now it's time for Steingard's pride to potentially move in and get some more kills. Over here's where we have some enemy knights that are now fleeing. It was a very simple, quick battle. Nothing too involved really going on. Gelt was nearly wiped out, though, by all those ranged attacks, but here comes Steingard's pride. And I just want to show you what I end up doing after a battle. I just kind of go after them when I can. Deliverance has only 1 kill. Darkwold trackers were doing their part. We had a bunch of volleys go after that, one individual who was trying to flee. Completely wiped out. Now, who do we have left? Not too many. There's only small handfuls of units left because of how thoroughly we destroyed them. It all worked out. Now we can go heal up just a little bit. But before that, let's deliver a few more friends to them. We're always on time. The loot has been gained. Alright, and we'll take more replenishment. Even though they had a tiny army, we were punished for that battle. They nearly got Gelt, but Gelt was able to get their leader. Now it's time for him to move back. We need a moment or two to heal up. Later we'll get more of his quests done, but they are quite long and involved. We'll put another point into Final Transmutation. It's already quite expensive, but there we are. The cooldown goes down as well. For you, Captain, at rank 10, we'll give you Foe Seeker. In 2 more levels, he'll be flying in the sky. That should help out a little bit. Over in Nuln, well, we have more money to spend, so we should probably do so. What am I going to spend it on? Well, over here in Nuln, I would like to pick up a City Watch. There we are. In one more turn, we can get Gelt over here into our own friendly lands. He'll need some time to replenish his numbers. That army was not easy to defeat. It won't be until I have 2 armies and we can march together that we might be able to finally beat Marienburg. While Gelt has been rebuilding his army, Marienburg sends out another general to die at our hands, Bernhard von Blount. Now we've got to fight a lot of Imperial Knights. They have 2 regiments. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We're going to have you move up right now, Elector Count Fierenberg. Then Gelt will move in. Helmut Gorst, who are you fighting? Are you fighting Reichlin? He's coming over here to attack. He's got a White King and 2 Necromancers beneath him. Well, Gelt, let's go see if we can win a battle, then return to rebuild our armies a little bit more. We're nearly there now. I was able to get enough gold to begin upgrading Faldorf. I need that if I want my Wizard's Conclave. Can you move any closer? You really cannot. Gelt can. What about if I have you march? Ah, there we go. Sure, you might be tired, but that'll be a great way to get our enemies all pinned down. Okay, let's go fight together and beat him. It's now time for this battle to begin in earnest. Elector Count Jean Fierenberg II is now moving in to reinforce our main army. They have many Imperial Knights, and so it will be a challenging battle no matter what. Our artillery is here, but they move slowly, and they're not in proper positions to assist. You can see their large group of knights now moving on to my right flank on their left flank. It's going to be a challenge to beat them all. Our formation has spears on the front lines. We have some spears on the flanks too, swordsmen on the flanks, and our 2 groups of mortars still trying to rail against any type of ranged unit they have. Here comes all of their many Imperial Knights now charging in. And even if I can counter them with spears, charge is still a lot of damage. There's a few more mortar strikes taking out at least 2 or 3 knights. Those who are back here, again, are still surrounding their Huntsman General. It's now time for Gelt to deal even more damage to all of them. That's always a goal, using a Searing Doom to weaken them slightly. And while that is going on, we're worrying about all these knights over here using a Plague of Rust to reduce their armor down to 75, which is still quite a bit. We have more units now moving in like the Golden Line, our elite group of sword infantry. Elsewhere, we can see more knights also charging in. They just will not stop. Our mortars are attempting to focus on all of their ranged units. And so Marienburg now contends with us. And it's always hard. It's never easy to beat them. They follow our same tactics. They generally have better range units than I do. Our Deliverance is still attacking. We just watched a cannonball fly at us. And so far, that part is working out. And if you guys just got hunted across the map, let's have a look over here. So they're all bunched up at our front lines. My general plan was to try to counter whatever I could with my reinforcing units. So most of them came over here to help out. Again, these knights are terrible. They can move quickly, they can hit a lot of us. We're on wide open fields and they love that. Over here we have a Glittering Robe upgraded, giving us 60 more armor. Everyone has a lot more armor. Over here on the left flank we have our Golden Company, our second Golden Company fighting a group of great swords. That Huntsman General has only a handful of kills, but still, he needs to go too. Over here on the left flank we have the rest of our reinforcing group, the Rivermen. The various swordsman companies of Jean Fierenberg are called the Rivermen, and they're currently fighting off a group of knights. With their numbers alone, they're keeping their bodies up to keep them from charging into our squishy insides. And right now, a group of great swords are fleeing. Looks like over here we have another spell hitting through these regiments of swordsmen and halberds. and also a transmutation of lead to reduce their attacking capability. I'm using much more magic than my enemy ever has, and that really has given me a stark advantage. Over here on the right flank, we're still fighting their many knights. We have great swords and also spears attacking them. The Steingart Company and also the Golden Guard attacking. Back here is where I have some of my now mostly broken Steingart Company men. Our artillery is still trying to move up. The mortar has 48 kills back here. My cannons aren't really doing too much. They're not in a good location for that. Most of our enemies are now dead. We're now going to begin attacking their Huntsman General, and we're also going after what's left of their swordsmen. Every range unit that we have is going to focus on the Huntsman General in just a little while. If he wants to try to shoot at us, we're going to shoot at him. He doesn't look at explosions or shafts. Nolan's balls of justice will reach everyone in time. And so the Huntsman General is now fleeing. He's running for his life. His men are broken. Somehow, that guy can take a shaft. He's still going. I don't know how. Could that be it for him? I just saw a splattering of blood. Okay, he's gone. We made the bad man go away. Everyone else is breaking. We've eliminated all of them. It's time for the Steingart's Pride to start hunting just a little bit. You can see how many we lost throughout that battle. Let's keep track of our good friends over here. They're at 57 kills, but what else can they do? Let's kind of find out here. Generally, before I charge in, I sometimes like to shoot at them. Alright, there's some friendly fire, so we'll have to stop using our artillery or we could lose more. But there they are, cutting down some greatswords, who otherwise would cause some issues. But they're done for now. We're at 60 kills. It's time to hit a few more of their many units. That's why Steingart's Pride is just, again, one of my favorite units. They can fight. They can deliver some serious damage. They're now moving out. Yeah, we're in what's called the routing phase. A very vital phase. And I just want to show you. They're at 71 kills. We have a group of swordsmen, 53 swordsmen total. Let's have a look at what that even looks like for them as they begin to move in. So they move up. They caught up to one swordsman, poor guy. I nearly feel bad for him. Now they're just cutting them down. And that's only one group of experienced frontiersmen. Whenever they mostly eliminate a group, I then have them move on. And I'm going over these parts of how I play because I think it's very important. If you want to know how I do so well, how I'm able to keep my foes down, it's imperative to have some manner of unit where you're just able to chase down your foes. I like how two horsemen just like kicked that one guy in between them. That was pretty brutal. So here's a group. We move in really, really close and we just butcher them too. So now if we look at our kills, we're at 114. That's how many more kills that we have. And there's still a few groups left too on the map that we could easily eliminate, but we just took care of a lot of them. 129 for kills. It's time to shoot just a little bit, right? If we don't shoot, we'll just ride in. Steingart's Pride is the biggest nightmare for any unit. There we go. 48 men. Now they have how many? 27 men. Sometimes it's even deadlier and they end up killing more. We've won. A very solid win, giving us 1,500 more gold and more to replenish with. We've gained a new follower, a ferryman. Now Gelt is a higher rank. They had a lot of knights and they did deal a lot of damage, but they were not like Edvard. Edvard was much more challenging. Yeah, you died. Look, he had a bow and an arrow. I just had a lot more and we shot the hell out of him. Okay, Gelt. What do you need now? We'll put a point over into the Golden Hounds. It'll be cheaper, quicker to cast again. I'll make sure to buff up every spell I have, then we'll move on to other things later.
What does the Emperor bid?
Alright, it's time for you to move back now. You too, Gelt. It's time for you to move back too. It'll take time for us to get ready to go into Marienburg. I'm still trying to build up our armies and lands, and they keep sending new armies. They're quite talented at that. 4,211 gold. That is quite a bit. I can really upgrade whatever I want. I don't need to upgrade Fort Stall. We could use more public order over here. Let's do that. Here's a tavern. And now we can save the remainder of what we have. We're about to finish more technology. We've been working on a lot. Guildmaster professors will give me more income from my iron mines. I don't have any gold mines, but I do have iron mines. Then later we can continue to work on our infantry to make them stronger. I think I like that idea a lot. Supply wagons would be great for increasing local recruitment capacity. There's just really so much good stuff here. It'll take me a bit to get to it all, but there's a lot of good stuff. We finally have a new wizard. His name is going to be Lubin Siegfried. Now we've completed another quest for Gelt. The wizard reports back to Gelt that his researches have turned up 2 possible locations: the barrow of the ancient tribal chieftain Marbad in Middelland, or the tomb of an unknown lord in the dusty foothills of distant Estalia. Gelt decides that it is time he took to the field to beat the enemy to the prize. Well, we'll go to Middelland, why not? We just need to move someone over to Marienburg. We can look at that later on. I've been building up our armies and getting ready for our northern invasion. That will be happening soon. We will need to complete our quest right over here before we do that, as I want to empower Gelt in any way that I can. Currently, he's getting a few regiments, but pretty soon he'll be ready and we can march up to the north again. With our new spellcaster, let's bring him on over. I'll probably recruit another one. Why not a gold wizard? That to me is only logical that we have another gold wizard. They're very cheap for me to keep up. Okay, so we're going to give you then
What is your wish?
your capability to move on. More magic that our good friend Gelt can relate to. But we'll use him on the field right now. He's going to be an agent of Gelt, a personal agent from the Order. Okay, so let's give him Wound, Specialist 2 to make it cheaper for us to use him on the field. And what about you? I'm going to give you Harmonic Convergence after that. Let's buff it up once. Then we'll put our 3 points over into Wind Blast for right now. I like to master what few spells I have. Now it's finally time for us to go do that mission over here at Bloodpine Woods. I'm not going to run there. I wouldn't be able to replenish. It's time for a magical duel. Gottfried, your day is over. What do you even have? A Book of Assure? Okay, so they gave him quite a few items to utilize. Alright, let's get to it now and beat him. Gelt needs to move on and take over Marienburg, though that will be quite difficult without proper replenishment on the way there.
If Orr thinks he can take what is rightfully mine, then he is very much mistaken. I will be Supreme Patriarch. I will wield the Staff of Volans. The wind of Shamon will rise and blast any who get in my way. Now is the time for the Gold Order, and I will brook no interference. Any who get in my way will see their armor run into lead goblets, their blades melt, and their bones turn to gold. Now, men, fight! Bring me victory! The Emperor needs me, not some pathetic pyromancer or insipid white wizard! For the good of the Empire, I will rise to the highest magical office in the land, and this fool will not stop me!
It is now time for Gelt to beat Gottfried Orr, his challenger for the role of Supreme Patriarch. Gelt is now flying out to go handle them. We can see what they have right now in Demogryph Knights. They've got Knights and a reinforcing army too. Not much of a magical duel when you're just using armies, but now it's time for Gelt to get rid of these Great Cannon crewmen. If you're part of a Great Cannon crew, Gelt's coming for you. And that's how they end up dying. They have only 3 cannons left, and a great deal of their crew has either been wounded or quite damaged. They're now shooting at Gelt, dealing some damage to him, but again, he's covered in freaking armor. You're not going to bother him too much. Alright, let's have a look at what we have. We've got over here Gelt's Golden Steel. We've got the first company of Solland's Shields, and a new Spearman Regiment that will eventually have a name. We have our Wardens over here, our crossbows on the left flank, our mortars on the right and left flanks. And with all of that, we'll be using our spears and halberds to cover up on this right attacking army. It's a fairly large fight. You know, I never thought about how brutal it is to have all these enemies coming at you, but we do get a good defensive posture that we're able to take. Now Gelt is taking out another Great Cannon crew. That's one gone, one broken. The other one is about to break. They're attempting to hit Gelt. He's taking quite a bit of damage. But now it's time for us to win the fight. And it's time for them to lose. Marcus Orcsbane is still close by. Deliverance has 7 kills right now. And it's time for our artillery to strike. There's not much left of that guy. There's a Searing Doom now hid in that crew back there. Gelt was trying to get rid of him before they could launch another cannonball at him. They're charging slightly uphill. That works in our favor. If we could move more, then I totally would, but we've been outnumbered so much I've been having to play defensively. There's Godfred Orr, that blasted wizard. He's already taken a lot of damage. I suppose Deliverance may have delivered a cannonball to him. Now we have enemies over here, now attacking on the right flank. Our job is to hold and to make sure that one unit fights many. Over here on the left flank, we have our own Steingard's Pride still fighting. They only have 1 kill, but we're trying to get rid of these Dimgriff Knights. They have damaged my Golden Steel group. We have other Spearmen that are still holding out. Gelt is now moving back to the front lines to help out. He's only had 7 kills. We've already damaged 2 groups heavily, like this group of Halberds. All of our ranged attacks have been doing that. Over here on the right, we're looking at some more Outriders, but we've had some of our ranged units hit them. We have the Golden Guard and the Golden Line back together, as they often fight in tandem. And over here, Steingard's Pride is still trying to hit these blasted Dimgriffs, but it looks like there might have either been some friendly fire, or maybe these Dimgriff Knights are just butchering everyone. They already have over 20 kills. They've been weakened, but they're still there. Now our mortars are still attacking. It's time for Gelt to do even more damage. They do have a Witch Hunter, Lucas von Rokov. And it's just time to use more spellcasting. That Deliverance is, again, crucial if we ever want to hold things up. We have Golden Hounds now breaking through a large group of enemies. There used to be a lot more of them. Now there's not. Hopefully there's been avoidance of friendly fire. There was. In fact, that just hit them purely. So that worked out quite well. There's a Searing Doom hitting. You can see where all of our units are currently targeting. Our artillery is trying to help out by taking down their rear attacks. And I'm only talking so fast because of how quick these battles are. They're very quick. And Steingard's Pride is at 7 kills. But finally, that group of Dimgriff Knights, they're done for. Maybe we could finally get rid of them once and for all with some armor-piercing damage. If we could just get rid of them and make sure that they don't come back, we're all better for it. There we go. Now Steingard's Pride can come help out elsewhere. We can see over here that we have a few groups of enemies to worry about. Our mortars are still hitting groups of handgunners, and over here is where the main part of the battle is now occurring. It's time for Deliverance and, of course, Marcus to go after that Witch Hunter. There's a bit of a showdown happening here. Here comes more Dimgriff Knights. Don't you shoot him in the face. We're doing the Emperor's work, fools. Now it's time for Steingard's Pride to rack up the kills. They're at 12 kills right now. But you can see that they're already just puncturing these many enemies who are here. These halberds are going to be gone very soon. Oh, the cacophony of war. It's a beautiful sound. The Golden Guard and Sieghelm's veterans are fighting together, going after one group of spearmen. They are surrounded on 2 sides and being hit by ranged attacks. They're done for. Many enemies are now beginning to break. They lost their leader. Our Deliverance is still fighting out there at over, how many? Over 100 kills. We've got over here our Empire Captain, Marcus Orcsbane, at 9 kills, but he's just been helping to hold the line and rallying our men when needed. It looks like we've won the battle. You can see how and why we won the battle and everything I did during that fight. The goal was to get rid of their ranged attacks. The other goal was to hold as much as we could, and to use Gelt to disrupt any type of damage dealing opportunities that they had. And so it worked out. Steingard's Pride, they're going to be running out there getting a few other kills, I'm sure. They're already at 88 kills. I mean, they have obliterated some foes today. And our mortars are at what? Let's see, right over here, 58 kills. For my other group, we're at over 100 kills. For my archers, 180 kills and just increasing after that. That witch... Wait, you're no witch. Who the hell are you? I didn't even know you were here. I beat you by accident. I thought you were the witch hunter. I think he's done for. Someone kill this man. There we go. Ooh, very dramatic. He's like, yep, that one got me. And so we won. The battle's over. We won that battle. Now we've gained more gold. Now Gelt is also rank 27. Not bad at all. We'll take on captives. There we are. We don't need to kill them all off. He's maxed out a trait called Fearless. More of a charge bonus and leadership. Here's a vagabond. I mean, sure. One quest completed. We've got to move Gelt over to Altdorf. Hey, that worked out. Then we can get our Staff of Volans, giving us a minus 15% miscast chance, 10 more winds of magic power reserve, plus 6 to melee attack, plus 1 hero capacity for battle wizards, and a higher rank for them too, in addition to a Staff of Volans ability, which is essentially like having a free arcane conduit for even more magic. It's really not a bad item to have. Well, good thing I completed that one, because I need to move to Altdorf, I need to go to Karaberg and Weismund. It's all in the same general direction. Yeah, that works out pretty well for me. Oh, look at Manfred. Level 27. When we go fight the undead, it's going to be quite challenging to beat them. My god. Clan Engrund, you're doing well. They're a pretty good ally. They're a nice buffer for us all to have. Wait. Did you confederate? Hold on. Let's see over here. They have Karaz Akarak. That's really interesting. I have no idea how that worked out. Clan Engrund was like, you know what? I won't go back to my old home. I'll just get a new home. Wait, no, you have Karak 8 Peaks too. Clan Engrund, you're kind of scary. What happened to the orcs, man? I was hoping they would do well. But they are not doing well. They're getting kind of steamrolled right now. The undead are doing well. They've taken Mordheim, Essen. They're going after Noggenhof. Evidently, our big threat is going to be probably the undead. Chaos 2. They've taken Karag Dromar. Grom Peak is under control of the orcs. Karak Kudrin is still alive somehow. Well, good for them. They've gotten far. Okay, Gelt. Let's put a new point into a new ability for you. Plague of Rust, level 2. And I believe we have upgraded every single spell here. Good. Okay. We can begin to work on other things now, like our command capabilities. We could come down here for our campaign abilities too. That wouldn't be a bad choice, really, but no, I'm going to focus on upgrading our soldiers. They could use more melee defense. I mean, they're tough, but they could be tougher, for sure. Our halberds do not have a lot of melee defense. 40 for our swordsmen, 28 for the halberdiers, so not nearly as much. Nuln can finally be upgraded. We have the money for that. Come on back to Nuln. I'm sure Marienburg will be back with another large army. They have the money for that. And over here, our good friend Fjurenberg will be up there in time. We have Magister Lubin Siegfried, who's currently working with him with his celestial magic. And our gold wizard is going to operate as a field agent. That is what an alchemist looks like. That is what they're good at. Okay. Let's see then. We'll build up over here in Nuln a tavern. Make them quite happy if you don't mind. Chaos Corruption is going up. That is unfortunate. Hopefully that will change in time. But we are going to call it here for right now. We have more battles to fight. We have more quest battles to complete. And it looks like it's all going to be in the same general direction. In order for me to complete those, I'll probably do it after we take Marienburg. I also need to go take a fort. That fort belongs to the Empire, or it should. After we do that, we can take over what remains of Northern Bretonia. Hopefully, Reichland will not conquer more. I don't know who Reichland will go after next. They've taken Skaven Blight. There could be a major civil war later. We'll see. And I won't vassalize or I won't confederate with every single faction. And I'll tell you why. That would get rid of the prestige mechanic and also politics in general. I like to deal with that. So what I'll probably do, I'll leave Nordland, maybe even Midland. Reichland, I'm not really too sure about. I don't really want their land. That would be way too much land for me to manage. I wouldn't even need a challenge after that. Plus, it also feels a little bit weird to gain control of the Emperor. I don't want to do that. But I will gain control of Averland, Stirland, and maybe Telebecklin later. Ostermark and Ostland, I don't know yet. We'll really have to think about that. I would rather have them as potential neighbors where they can provide a buffer against chaos. Otherwise, I'll need to defend way too much. Instead, my goal will be to beat Marienburg, then it'll be to beat Sylvania, then we'll see where we're at after that. I can't really make like long-term plans. It's got to be like short and mid-term plans because of all the things that can happen. And hopefully in time, we'll have even more units. I do want to build a type of mechanized army for Fjurenberg later whenever I have the time and more buildings. I need more buildings and more slots in order to build those said buildings. All right, let's get rid of some of that blasted corruption, if you don't mind. Or actually, could we use more public order? No, we're fine on that. Let's take up that Sigmarite dogma. We have enemy agents coming my way. but we shall see in time. Okay, everyone, leave a like down below and leave a comment too, and look forward to more tomorrow.